Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital Livestream. My name is Michael Chu here, and today is Monday, October 13, 2025, 9:27 a.m. Mountain Time. So almost 2 hours into the market. Market is very strong today. Big bounce from Friday's big drop. So we'll take a look here. Here's Nasdaq up 1.9%, Dow is up 0.9%, S&P is up 1.1%. However, volume is much lower. Down 15%. So not even close to comparison on Friday. Let's just quickly take a look at the index here. I'm going to go to QQQ, ETF here, daily chart. So yeah, we had a big drop. We undercut the green line here, 10-day right there, and then we also undercut the pink line here, and we came pretty close to the 50-day, but today we bounced back. So we have a gap up right now, 1.89%. Look at 50, so we just slightly near the green line, which is the 10-day moving average. Um, so we have this nice gap up. So this morning we test the low and we bouncing again. So that looks pretty good. Now we did, yeah. So we'll see if we can make this intraday high here, like if we can beat that. It's hard to say where this will go right now, but it is trading in a narrow range, holding up most of the gains today. But again, coming back to the daily chart, the ultimate test will be just kind of decisively bounce back above the 10-day and then resume this uptrend right there. So this is, you can see this is the uptrend line for the 10-day, and we are below it. And yeah, so it might take a lot more for this market to bounce back. So we'll see. Let's go to SPY. Yeah, this one also came near the red line moving average. So again, the good news is we see a bounce right? We didn't see another day of sell-off. So that's a good progress, I would say. And but again, this one you can clearly see this one is a little bit slightly worse than Nasdaq because we are actually near the pink line, which not we're not even at the green line. So that is a little bit more weakness than Nasdaq. Look at 5-minute chart. We did test the bottom slightly here. We're coming back to the top. Let's see if we can go past this level. Look at Dow here. Dow did touch the red line as well. Again, we see a bounce. Again, this is still below the pink line here and the green line, which are very close to each other. But we are not near it, right? So that is another problem here. So Dow has been weaker because it actually topped more than a week ago. That's the bigger problem here. It actually topped a week ago, and you can clearly draw a trend line right there, or even lower slightly. In terms of this morning, we are making new highs, so this is good progress so far. Very good. So hopefully this will continue throughout the day. And then we have IWM, very similar, just slightly break out from the intraday. We test the bottom as well. That is, really good progress as well. And here we came down near the red line, and then today we bounced, and we are above the 21, and we're just sitting near the 10-day. So yeah, overall progress. It's very normal for the market to have a sharp down day and then bounce back like near the halfway mark. And then what's going to happen next is the key. Not today. Today is just a bounce back day. Anyone who's short on Friday is getting punished right now. Depending, especially at the end of day, Friday, right? So it's normal for the market to bounce back, and yeah, it's basically gonna test. Market never just tests one side; it always tests the bulls and the bears, right? So you could be right um, long term, let's say you're a bear and you could be right long term, this could turn into a longer term correction. But you could be wrong short term, right? Like, just for, today's sake, it might just bounce enough to shake you out, stuff like that. So right now it's a very strong market. It's up 2.4% on Russell. If we look at the, so it has recovered quite a bit, right? Like this is almost 3% down on Friday, and if again this the last Friday's close is around this level, so we have recovered a lot, so more than half. But from the technical chart perspective, we are still kind of under this downtrend line, and here's the 10-day right there. So we're just sitting near the 10-day. That's what it is. So um, let's look at any news here. Let me see. So the news happened, like, with Friday. Initially Trump tweeted that, hey, we're gonna do something about this rare export restrictions, and hiking back tariffs again. And then at some point it was like, mentioned that it might be 100%. And then obviously, uh you know over the weekend he's eased the tone that, hey, uh, we're still partners, we're still something like that, we still it'll be okay and stuff like that with China. And then the market bounced back today. So yeah, we see lots of big movers this morning on stocks on the move. Here's the list here, and you can see BE, Bloom Energy, um, as well as and as well as Broadcom, right? Um, and then we have Nvidia, Tesla recoup some losses. So let's take a quick look here. So Bloom Energy, this is a huge move today. It definitely looked more like a short squeeze than anything, but yeah, it's not on my list just because it has kind of lower quality earnings here. But it's been a star in this rally. Like, look at this chart here on the, so that's the Bloom Energy. Let's look at Broadcom, another very strong mover in this rally. Let's go to daily chart. So we have this huge drop on Friday, coming back down to the red line here. And today, right? Let me just clear my markups for a second. Today you can see it. Not only did it come back, it come back strong, right? Like, this is making new high. Relative strength line is shooting up really fast here. 9% up. This is very strong, right? Let's see what other news. Nvidia, Tesla. Let's take a look. Nvidia. Oh, here's Nvidia. Up 2.7%. So it came down to 21-day pink line here. Today it bounced back up the 10-day. Now it is has weakened a little bit here. Let's see. So intraday chart, we did test the low of the day here, right there. And now we are trading in the upper half of this pattern. So it's overall, it still looks good here. Yeah. So, and it's above 10-day, and so that, it could recover from here as well. It looks like it's recovering right now, so it looks pretty good. And we are above this traditional buy point here. So yeah. Okay, let's move to Tesla. Tesla came down pretty hard, down below the 21-day here, pink line. Right now it's sitting just slightly above it. It is below the 10-day still, so it is a very narrow range. So again, many stocks are kind of stuck in this range. So for me, like I said, if the stock bounce back above the 10-day decisively, that's probably give me more confidence. But if it's stuck between this short-term moving averages, even with today's bounce, I'm not sure this doesn't change the overall pattern. I draw a channel line at the top here. You can see how steep this downtrend line is. So you don't want to be stuck below the downtrend line, and that's where the risk is, right? And when you stop below the downtrend line, a lot of the time, it will get rejected at this 10-day, and then it could come down really hard, right? And then it'll bounce back again to the 10-day, and then that's how this downtrend line can become a resistance line. So that's Tesla right there. Let me go to see other news here. So we already talked about Bloom Energy. So this is the reason, because Brookfield Asset Management plan to invest 5 billion to deploy Bloom's fuel cells at artificial data centers. So this is the reason why it jumped this much today. In terms of Oracle, so this was also another deal between Bloom and Oracle in July, also providing that same fuel cell technology. Let's look at Oracle because this was kind of like a star when earlier, like maybe a month ago, yeah, so early September, and it has gave back a lot, and and the good thing here at looking at this chart is on Thursday, the damage was done, but the stock was so strong that it is already above the 10-day, and that gives so even with that down day on Friday, sorry, I meant Friday, um, it gives it a good spot because it was still above the 10-day, and today you can see we make new high. So that's exactly what you want to see is following the momentum and relative strength lines going up. So this is looking pretty good. I would even say this is still a good entry point if you believe in this move here. All right, let's keep going. Rocket Lab raise target here. Um, Regenerance fell. Probably not too much news this morning. So again, Trump wrote this statement: "Don't worry about China; it will all be fine." Um, Highly respected President Xi has just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. So again, he's basically backpedaling a little bit, trying to see if China is willing to talk, right? Obviously, whether they can, agree on something with the rare export restrictions. So we'll see. I think it's too early to tell what's going to happen right now, but the market reacted very negatively towards that. Maybe it's just a another sign of like froth in the market because it just took any bad news and want to sell off, right? So again, I don't want to say the rally is over, but there's a high chance the rally is over. Because maybe after this sell off, maybe um, the market can come back up, but before the sell off, it was like you know pretty frothy, right? Everyone's talking about bubble and stuff. Like again, I don't know if anyone knows it's a bubble. A bubble usually happens when most people don't believe in a bubble. So that's another part that comes. Whether you think right now, how many people believe this is a bubble or not. The other big news that might see more traction is the government shutdown. Whether this will continue to impact the government's decision going forward on like reducing rates and stuff. So we'll see about that. And in terms of stocks on the move, we have let's look at TSM here. And TSM has been a leader in the chip area as well for value cap, and we suffer a big drop on Friday. Came all the way to 21-day. Today it's actually making new highs compared to Friday, so that is impressive. Very, very impressive. So let's keep going here with CCJ, CLS, VRT here. The two electrical component area. related to AI. This one's actually breaking out right now. Like look at how it's choppy, but it's still a very tight consolidation. And then Friday again, this one because of how tight the pattern is, it didn't suffer as much, which is good, right? And then today after this shakeout, it broke out, right? So this is a really good potential here, good entry point, I think. Um, Up really strong, 9% today. The other stock is VRT. This one has been going recently, and look at Friday. It was like it went up so much that even though it reversed, it's still a positive day. Like not many stocks were positive on Friday. And today, we did make new high interest, like, but we're gonna make closing high close here. So it's up 6% again. Very strong stock. Okay, we have Billy. The Chinese stocks got hammered pretty hard on Friday. So here you can see this is a big bar, and that you know I just say like the Chinese stocks they can be very volatile, and right now it's showing huge volatility. I mean from here to here is a huge swing. Doesn't mean it's game over for this stock, but at least like today, this is something I don't want to see, where it get rejected at the 10-day. So meaning it bounced back to the 10-day and then it kind of found resistance and then now it's trading at the bottom of the day. So this is exactly what you don't want to see in any stock today. And this is a good example of that. The other stock is Futu. So here again, this one looks even more terrible because uh, we can see we're clearly in a downtrend. But more importantly, today is we didn't even, I mean, it jumped, but it never even came close to the 10-day. 10 days around here. It never came close to it. And then look at where we're trading again. We're trading at the bottom of the range. So again, these are not doing well. And others, but they are moving today, right? Like the Chinese stocks are moving because they dropped so much that today they move back up. So this is another one that's in a downtrend. Look at where the 10-day is. Like this has been like I mean the Chinese stocks are getting hit hard. So I don't know what that tells you about their market, but but they're not doing well. So so that's FYI there. And that's just my own opinion based on the chart. Um, let's keep going here. You see Futu here. Um, there's other chip stocks, EMBA, AMD. Let's take a quick look. Here's EMBA. So this one huge bar down. Today is bouncing back near the pink and 10-day here. So it's a good progress. 11% bounce is a really big bounce, but compared to Friday, it was down 13.5%. So it's just crazy volatility. So it's not even makeup even most of it yet. AMD here, I don't know. Like this is a little bit extended, and then Friday we got this down day, which is one of the strongest stock in the market because it's way above the 10-day, right? It's way above it. And today's action, I'm not sure if I'm liking it because it's up, but it's trading at the bottom of the range, right? Any stock that is trading at the bottom of the range today is probably a very negative sign for me. And look at today, it has no power to trade even in the upper half of the like it couldn't stay in the upper half of the trading pattern today. So that is very negative. So yeah, I'm not liking this chart at all. Let's keep going here. So we have silver, pass, euro, copper, right? We have gold. We have more copper here. So let's take a quick look at those. Um, the gold price here, what's happening with it? Making another new high. This is just like I mean, to me, this is the safest bet in the market going forward, because the momentum is just so strong, and we saw that on Friday. Because look at on Friday, the market is all down, and this is up, right? Let's go to silver, and today we make new high. Look at silver, even didn't even have a red day on Thursday, Friday, and today we make new high. So Let's look at copper. Copper has a huge down day on Friday, huge. Wow, look at this move. Like it jumped back all the way and now it's higher than Friday. So I think the precious metals in this area is still pretty strong. I think yeah, so I think the other area is like I think uranium, right? Uranium and nuclear, same thing. Look at this. It came down on Friday, but look at because it jumped so much on Friday that like it was just barely negative and look at today new high again. So all these commodities and yeah it's just doing really well and it seems to be the one area that is very consistent so far. And some of the stocks moving today, I mean I'm sure most of them are moving, but the ones that came on the stocks on the move, so take a look. CDE, this is gold. um if we close here, it may be a closing high up 7%. Some of the ones that I have traded, HL, very similar chart. MUX, this one, it's not bad. It's not jump as much. Um, so there's a lot like the bigger guys are like Barrick Mining. This one didn't jump as much. So I was talking about this as well on the weekend videos. Like some gold stocks is not trading as strong anymore. So this was really strong move here, but lately it just hasn't followed the strength of the gold price. So some of these are kind of showing a little bit of topping signal. AGI, this one moved strong today, but again, recently it just hasn't moved much. There's so many gold stocks like GFI. This one is okay, bouncing back a lot. Yeah, anyhow. So and then on the silver side we have like PAS, like I said earlier, PAS. But this one is jumping back pretty strong. Um, making new highs. So that's a big move right there. And then SVM, another one here. Oh, this is not looking as super good because look, it's trading at the bottom of the range right now. So again, uh, I don't want to say the whole area is strong because there's definitely some stock not acting as strong in some of this precious metals area. And then other like ERO, like mining ores, this one bounced back. So it's looking okay. Yeah, it's bouncing back really good. Um, yeah, and then those are some areas of strength. What else do we have? SCCO. Okay, so that's copper. Um, this is also bouncing back. Yeah, the DRD gold here. Yeah, that's really again the same theme continues. Mostly some AI stocks, and then some precious metals. Um, and then some industrial. Well, still kind of AI driven. So not too much stocks in the move today. Like let's look at the volume. Again, the volume is so weak today, 23% lower than Friday. So like I said, I don't really trust today's move because of this. And then the stocks on the move is good. The volume is really high today for some of these stocks. We'll see as the day goes by whether the volume comes back down for some of this. But again, the theme continues to be very similar. Um, and again, there's some stocks that are bouncing back today, but there's also stocks that are kind of in the limbo, right? Like just bouncing back enough to be just near the 10-day. And so and then there's stocks that are just below the 10-day. Those are probably the ones that you know if you ever want to short, that's possibility because if they so let me show some possibility of short. So let's say a lap here. So today I'm watching this one where and look at this. Why is it not bouncing? Why is this guy not bouncing today when a lot of things are bouncing? It's still above the red line. That's the support line right there. If it fell that, then that would be really bad. Now, but the today it got rejected at this not only this downtrend line, but that's also where the 10-day is. So this is a very you know potential. It has already dropped a lot, but but the action does not look good, and relative trend lines going down. So this is just there's definitely areas in the market that are showing weakness even with today's move in the market. So yeah, so that could be a strategy, but shorting is always a hard thing to do. Let's go on the final look for the index here, QQQ. Again, just sitting at the 10-day line here. And this, obviously represent a lot of tech stock. So look at your tech stocks and see how they're behaving. Are they, you know, holding up? Again, we're still early in the day. You know, um, Anything can happen now. I think the last, actually, coming back to Friday, I think like, the the movement here can happen really fast, right? I think that's more important. And then looking at the wicks, let's go to daily chart here. So here we actually starting to rise on the bottom range recently, which is kind of weird because why is it rising when the index has been making new highs every day? And then we got this huge spike on Friday. Today we pull back to a short-term moving average here. Um, Look at this trend line right now. So it's normal to pull back to near it. But yeah, we need to continue to watch this and see how this, whether we'll get more spikes like that. Um, but yeah, it's hard to say. And then let's go back to the index by daily chart. Again, not quite at the 10-day, but intraday, all these are still looking good because it's near the high range. But the problem again, I just, it didn't really follow through so far today, at least on SPY and QQQ. I like to see it follow through and kind of move up much higher, but it hasn't done that. And then let's look at Dow. And so Dow, kind of did that, right? Like, it came out from this range here this morning, and now it's above that range, so that looks good. So maybe it can still happen. And then here's IWM. Barely, I don't consider that coming out because it's just so little. It has to be decisive, right? Like, it kind of move up quite significantly. Um, yeah, and you know, if we get another downside reversal today, I mean, and break this low, I mean, it will trigger a lot algorithm out there, and stocks will be selling off again. So just be mindful of that if that happens. Again, this market, I feel like volatility is picking up, as I saw in the weeks, and we just have to stay more cautious. And then definitely this market, I feel like you can play both sides, longs and shorts. Not all stocks are equal. Um, but again, to each is his own, based on your own strategy, what you feel, but always manage risk. And even with today's up, I think if you are still holding a lot of stocks, you're probably still down from Fridays because Friday was a sharp drop. And so, but like I say, if this may be even a good time to clearly look at your stock, where do you think um, it's time to sell here? Because this might be your chance to sell before another big dump. So anyhow, I'm definitely not as bullish, even close to bullish level right now. I'm actually looking more for short opportunities than long opportunities. Um, but if it doesn't work, then again you manage risk and you have your stop level. But if it works, then then maybe we're in a downtrend, right? We don't know. It's still too early, and as I mentioned, the more important point is Russell has already formed a downtrend from 7 sessions ago, and same thing with Dow. And that is very concerning to me, because they top, before S&P and Nasdaq does. So that again, I have to follow this momentum because it's telling me it's weakening in the marketplace. The other thing is growth stocks are definitely showing a lot of weakness. Again, despite today's bounce, some of them making new highs, great for those stocks, but um, you know we'll see whether this how when this market continue this week, whether they can continue on building this momentum. That is always the key. The first day of bounce doesn't mean a thing. This is always the follow through, right? Are they going to follow through tomorrow, or are they going to come back down hard again? Thank you all for watching. Have a very good day. Stay safe and enjoy your day. Bye. And don't forget to like and subscribe.